Nobody plays the hits like this, brother.
You already know.
Yeah. Into the Midday Lounge with the Midday Love.
Oh, yeah.
Jackie Tramel and the Midday Crew, Krystal and K-Rose.
Yep, that's my crew. Hey.
What's going on, everybody? It's the Midday Lover, Jackie Tramel. This is Global RnB 96.3. Listen, I always say this, but I mean this today. You feel me? We got a hell of a show today in store for y'all. I got the originals. The originals. That sounds like something. Is that a movie or something? Anyway, I got the original. I got K-Rizzo and I got Krystal J in the building. Are y'all microphones up? My bad. Ooh.
Nah, and you already got us on mute. Dang.
Hey. I got to shut.
Wow.
I remember I have vivid memories of having to shut y'all asses down.
It's still early. We can still leave. Like,
I remember that differently.
it's still happy hour-ish time.
Okay,
we can still.
Calm down. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and drop K-Rose's bomb for all three of us. Hell yeah.
Yeah, you got my bomb back because you was messing it up last time.
It was a little lightweight.
Yeah.
For a little while.
It was giving squeaker toy.
Listen. For this show today, we're gonna be talking about biracial, and I want to say like this because I found this clip with Amber Rose. It's been circulating. So one, I want to shout out my shirt. Shout out to my man DJ K Thread. Being black is a vibe, so I got to go ahead and shout you out for that. Not to say no other race is a vibe, but my race is definitely a vibe.
It's a vibe.
It's a vibe. So I want to play this clip. I want to see what y'all think about it. I know everybody's gonna have a difference of opinion. I got my drink and my 2-step. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this. This is gonna be Joseline Hernadez and Amber Rose. And just to give you some things, a little background on it, Amber Rose said she doesn't feel like she fits into black spaces, and she's considered biracial. Okay.
Let me keep my salvation today.
So let's get into it. I'm gonna go ahead and play this thing for y'all real quick.
If you feel like I singled you out, I apologize. I didn't mean to do that.
I appreciate that.
I consider you a black person like myself. A lot of people do that to me. They're like, okay, she's Spanish, she's not black.
Joseline, stop identifying me. Let me identify myself and then let you know what that is. When you say, like, the whiteys, and then you turn around and look at me.
It's a joke. It was just there. I just seen you. I just turned around and look at that. Stop being so sensitive because you and I are very cool. So for you to do
Yeah, but
that.
it's not about being sensitive,
But you are being
Joseline.
sensitive.
No, but if you're
Because
not
black.
a mixed
You're
race.
not white, though. You're black.
My father is white, though.
Okay, but to me, your mother's
But that's not
black.
about you. It's about
but
me.
It is about me when I feel like saying what the fuck I want to say. You can't check me on that. And if you go and check me, then check me. Okay.
I checked you. I'm checking you now.
But you're not, because I don't give a fuck about how you feel.
Well, I don't give a fuck either then, because I can say the same thing about you.
I consider you a white person. So that's the thing.
But it's not about what you consider. That's the whole point.
You mix like me. You mix like, you know what's your problem? Your problem is that you really want to be a white girl. Let's just get down to the point.
Joseline.
No, Professor. Let's get down to the point.
Joseline.
Your problem is that you really don't even want to be black. She's conflicted with her blackness. See, when I was growing up, I chose to be black. I was born in Puerto Rico, a Spanish-speaking place, so I'm a black Hispanic. But Amber, she don't know how to behave in black places or in white places. She feel like she got to cater to each of them. But I damn sure know that she doesn't cater to nothing black. She went there, so let me finish.
Wait.
Nah, you want to go there? Let me finish. There she go. Cry, baby, cry, baby, cry, baby.
All right. So that's when they get into the physical altercation. Amber Rose gets up and she mollywops and or she would I won't say mollywop or she a little kind of snuck up on Joseline Hernandez, hit the little thing, you know, rocked the snot box one or two times. But Joseline Hernandez is the only one that got expelled from the college. So this comes from College Hill Celebrity Edition, but Joseline Hernandez is the only one that got expelled, even though Amber Rose started off. But I just felt like this begged the question. So I just want to bring it up. So what I want to ask, I'm not even going to get into Amber Rose. I just want to ask, do you think that biracial people, and I really don't want, I hope I'm saying this correctly because I don't want to offend anybody. Do you think people are biracial descent? Can I say that? I think that sounds better. Have safe places where they can fully embrace themselves.
I'll start. There are some places where biracial people can embrace themselves, and then there are some where they're not accepted. Where they're singled out as being biracial, and that's the only thing that people see them as. So I understand Amber Rose completely, and in this particular stance, I'm on her side.
Okay.
Because I get it. Growing up being a light-skinned African-American woman, it's hard to try to convince. You're constantly convincing people, I'm black. No, I'm not, but your hair, but the way you talk. But you get tired of it. So yeah, you do try to cater to both sides. I'm not biracial, but I grew up
Yeah.
light skinned in a
Right.
predominantly white or true African American culture.
Yeah.
And my mother, she was white. She could have been white passing,
Okay. Yeah.
as with most of her, like the family on her side.
Mm.
So yeah, I was conflicted growing up. I get it. And Joseline deserved that.
Do you think Joseline? Okay.
She got bounced because she was black. I'm just playing.
Can you remember they are at ASU? They had a black, historically black college. Just want you to point that out there.
But I think it depends on how you frame it. Like, and this is being somebody who ain't nobody ever confused me for anything else but a black woman.
Yeah.
You know, but I think sometimes the phrasing is a part of it, because there's the people who are like, I'm this and or this but. Like, if you tell me like I'm black but I have this and this and this and this, and it's like, okay, so you like black elevated, you black but better. Is that why you're telling me all these other things
Yeah.
that you're mixed with? I think it's one thing to have cultural pride in your heritage. Be happy about it. But there's a difference. If you say this but, then that means you're trying to make an excuse for all the black blood that's in you. If you say this and, then I think you see it differently. And that little change lets
Right.
me know what place are you coming from. Is this self-love, or is this a little bit of like self-deprecation, self-hate?
I think I might sound kind of ignorant, and y'all can, by all means, y'all can correct me. First of all, I want to say safe places in general for people. I don't think everybody in general, especially black people in general, have safe places on top of just being biracial. So I would say like this: do I think there's a point? I agree with you. I do agree with you that I don't think they actually absolutely they can be fully embrace themselves, but I don't think it is as worse as it used to be, like back in like the passing days that you talked about. And I'm not to take anything away from, what's her name, Amber Rose. Not to take anything away from her. I can definitely see where she's coming from, but it almost seems more acceptable nowadays. I can understand the questions and the what kind of hair you got. I can see how that could become uncomfortable after years of talking about it, after so much time. But I do think no matter what I do think, if she, and this is gonna sound ignorant maybe, but if she embraces who she is, it doesn't matter what room she walks in. Just be who you is and be happy with who you are. It don't matter, you're black, white, whatever race you is, just walk in the room like you own that thing. That's how I'm seeing it right now. But like I say, I'm coming from a place that I never had to go through that, because I'm 100% a black man. So far, I'm not gonna say 100%. I'm sure I'm mixed with something, but I know people identify me as African American, so I have never went through that. So I can't say I exactly know where she's coming from, but I can see her point. If that makes sense. I say Krystal J got something. Go ahead.
It does. So thinking about like the safe spaces, though, I think there could be those spaces that exist, because isn't the estimation by like 2045, in the next 20 years, like the biracial population will be a large percentage of the American population, and I don't know what the global demographics are, which means that there's going to be enough of a presence, and there probably already is enough of a presence of biracial people and multiracial people for there to be those safe spaces. But people who don't identify as being biracial, it's hard for us to create those spaces because we don't know what the needs are. And that's part of the complication of like, is it on the African American community? Yes, it's on us to be accepting of people who, even if they are biracial, who have a connection to that heritage. But to create those unique spaces, I can't create the space for an experience that I don't have. And there's now enough of a population for biracial people to be able to create their own spaces if they need an independent space.
I'm going to play devil's advocate.
Please.
There's and I've said this before, and I've said this before, and I've said this before, but cancel me if you want to. I don't care. There's an ignorance in the black community on a lot of things. Racism and financial literacy being the top two, in my opinion. So we're going to stick with racism right now. It's hard to create a black space without including biracial people in it.
Real.
Because black people who identify only as black, I can look at you and I can look at you and say, this is a black man, this is a black woman. You look at me and it's like, well, what is she?
Yeah.
So it's hard to create those spaces and not accept biracial people into them, even though I am not biracial. But per definition, like ancestry, whatever, I'm more multicultural than both of you.
Yeah.
Also by looking at me.
Yeah.
So to be included in Black spaces, but to look like somebody like me and to look like somebody like Amber Rose, it's just like, but you're not fully Black. But what are you? What are you mixed with? To have those questions, it's like,
Well,
I mean, I'm Black and I'm saying that I'm Black, but y'all aren't accepting me as being Black. So what do I do?
I see where you're coming from.
Yeah, that's fair.
But if people who look like me or more biracial people create those spaces, then we have the people who you can look at and see that they're Black looking back at us and being like, well, why don't they want to be with us? They think they're not Black, XYZ. It's like what's the word I'm looking for?
Well, I just know Catch-22.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You can't win.
that's fair.
Man, we're going to have to run this back. We got to hit this break real quick. Be back in a second. Global RnB 96.3. If you want to join the conversation, hit the hotline 804-476-2306. The original crew is back, baby. Global RnB.
Jackie Tramel right here with my #1 source for R&B music, Global RnB.
Appreciate you keeping it locked with us, Brittany, man. This is Global RnB 96.3, the real deal in digital radio. Like I said, we got the original crew back in the building. Krystal J in the building. We got K-Rose in the building, man. I'm just excited about that alone. Like
As you should be.
It
You're
really-
welcome.
You should be.
It warms my heart. Hey, let me get a drink of this cognac just to celebrate. Boom, boom, boom. That's what I'm talking about.
Graced you with our presence. You welcome.
All day. Look, I was waiting for y'all to come back. I said, hey, it's been a long time. We shouldn't have left you without a dope beat. Well, actually, y'all left me.
Okay. All right. You had your time, sir.
Let me put my drink down.
Exactly. Put it back down because you don't know how to act.
But before this break, we were talking about people of biracial descent and about them feeling comfortable or embracing being comfortable and having safe spaces, especially stemming off of what Amber Rose said on College Hill when she said that she doesn't feel like she fits inside Black or white spaces. So I just wanted people to know, y'all got a conversation. You want to join the conversation? Hit the hotline 804-476-2306. Let's get back into it.
All right. Now, this actually ties into, well, it's been a set of ongoing conversations for many years, but back in 2021, Asa's wife, Sheila Marie, was at the center of a similar conversation because she hosts these events that are for Black women.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Drink Champs host Noriega, his wife, who is not Black,
Mm-hmm.
got invited to this space, which sparked a lot of controversy because people are asking, why is she there? Just because you have Black kids, but if you yourself don't identify, and it leads to some complication in how comfortable people feel being invited into that space.
Yeah.
So here's what I want to know.
Okay.
Should people, specifically those within the Black culture, embrace all sides of an individual? What are your thoughts on the concept of people who are not Black being invited to the proverbial cookout? Should people be excluded? Should they get invited? What you think?
I'm going to say it like this. This is going to sound bad on my part. I'm going to answer this question. Hell no. And I'm going to say it like this. And I mean this. I don't even mean no disrespect or anything.
He said disrespectfully.
Yeah, but I got to say it like, we Black people seem to be the only culture that feel like we got to include everybody into ours. But we're not including it inside everybody else's culture. So in my mind, I was like, I actually don't like the phrase, you invited to the barbecue, you invited to the cookout. Some things, I will be honest, it can just be ours. And I know we could talk about division inside the culture. We could talk about this creates division. At some point, I really don't give a damn. It's not me saying I don't rock with y'all. I'm just saying I don't want to rock with y'all at this minute. That's how I view it. Because truth be told, when I go to work every day, I feel like I'm a Black man. But when I go to my church, or I don't go to church anymore, but when I go to church or when I do go to my barbecues or go to my cookout, I don't have to feel like a Black man. I just feel like a regular person. So no, I don't believe that you have to. Everybody has to be invited. And sometimes not even about race. It's about your energy. I don't want you around me sometimes, or certain people around me. I just want to be me and that proverbial space. That's how I see it. But I could be wrong. Y'all correct me, ladies.
All right. I'm gonna break the internet, the airwaves with this one. Going back to you said that what's her name has Black children, but she herself is not Black.
Right.
It takes a village to raise children, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So as Black people, once again, that ignorance, we're going to talk about how Black children are being raised by someone who's not Black, yet we're not inviting that guardian, that parent into our space to learn our culture so that they can help those Black children that they're raising.
I don't think that's the issue though, because I'm fine inviting people. Like, if you are going to pour into a Black child's life, come into the space, but come quietly. Don't come telling me how I need to be. And sometimes that's the difference of, it's one thing if you come in because you do love this child who is a Black child, and you want to come in to understand how to make sure that child embraces all aspects of their culture.
See that?
But if you come in trying to change the culture to fit what's comfortable for you,
Right.
that's where we have a problem.
But just to piggyback, the caveat. So that for Ace Hood wife, that particular retreat was for Black women only. Now, was she wrong to invite only Black women only, and Noriega's wife was invited by some other person? For example, if this was an all Black male conference and anybody of another race was invited, would I want you there? I probably wouldn't want you there, because this is an all Black male conference, and that particular retreat was only for Black women. Now the question is, was she wrong for that? And I understand that Noriega's wife wanting to be there for her children and learn different things, but specifically the rules were just for Black women. So we could talk about either way, but we can go either way about it. So tell me what you think about that, since it was just for supposedly Black women.
If it's for Black women, if all white women or any other race had all whatever their ethnicity is, what's the first thing that's a Black woman's gonna say out their mouth? And I'm talking about, I'm reading comments on Baller Report, Shade Room all day long.
Mm-hmm.
The first time somebody of another race does it, we're like, oh, that's racist. We the first ones to say it and tell me I'm lying.
You ain't lying.
And feel some type of way.
But see, that's all ignorance.
But when we do it, it's not a problem. When they do it, it's the issue.
Hey, I'm cool with it. And that's the thing. You will never hear me say that particular situation is racist, because F it. If I don't want to be somewhere I'm not wanted. but maybe I'm ignorant.
But I think this is a very...
No, it is what it is. If you weren't invited, okay, go create your own thing.
Mm-hmm.
It don't have to be racist. Everything don't always have to be racist. Call the racist what it actually is. Like you say, call a spade a spade. Yeah. Sometimes it's not a spade. Sometimes you are just reaching. Most of the time, you're just reaching.
You got Krystal J.
I think that's only when it's Black, white, but...
Yeah, exactly.
But because, like, if we think about if there's a festival for Japanese culture, because we get real, like, is it not only when we talking about Black people and white people? If we're talking cultures in general, if I were to see downtown that there is a festival for Japanese American culture, I'm going to go to respect the culture, but I'm not going to call it racist. Yeah. This is a conversation we only have when it becomes about Black people versus white people.
Exactly.
It's not about culture. It's about the power dynamics of structured racism.
Exactly.
That comes and is descended from the system of slavery. That's why this becomes a sticking point in particular, because when I think about going to any other cultural event, like Hawaiian American appreciation events, when I think about going to those cultural events, I don't think about, oh my gosh, Japanese people didn't include African Americans. This is racist. That never comes into the conversation, because the thing is, what we will all do, and this is the thing we need to create with Black people and Black spaces as part of the conversation, we'll go in to respect the culture because it's not ours. We'll learn from it. We'll appreciate it. We'll see what the differences are and what the similarities are. And then we go on about our lives. We don't ask the Japanese people to change their culture to fit what we are doing in other cultures. So why do people keep doing that to Black people? Like you said, if it's a Black men's only event and a white man shows up, don't change anything about what you're going to say, because that white man knew what he was coming to.
Right.
You can come, then come learn about the culture that this event is for, and then be on your way. Don't change the event to fit a culture that we are not a part of. That's my only issue.
All right, so let me ask this. Going and just because I'm thinking, like, going back to Amber Rose, going back to Joseline Hernadez, what advice would y'all give a person to make them feel comfortable in all spaces, or what advice would you give them about embracing every aspect of like, especially biracial person, every aspect of their lives, if you had to give it to them? What y'all would say?
I think and I truly honestly mean this, it's gonna be very difficult because even in as a black person going into all black spaces, I am not always comfortable
Facts.
because there are just some uncomfortable realities that come with our culture.
Yeah.
I say stand 10 toes down. If you are embracing both parts of your culture, then understand that if you are in a place that is part of the black side of your culture, that space is not going to change for the other side of your culture necessarily.
Yeah.
But you have to admit and you have to be in the space where, yes, this only represents a part of you, but fully embrace that part while you're there. If you need to also go to another space that embraces the other part of you, then do that. But those two spaces aren't going to change necessarily to fit the specifics of who you are as a person. Is that a struggle? Yes. But you just got to learn to be confident in who you are in all aspects of your identity. And I don't know how to advise one person to do that.
You make a great point.
All right, it's hard when you kind of straddle both lines because it's like you want to hang with like white people, but you're too black to hang with white people. You want to hang with black people, but you're too white to hang with the black people. And honestly, that's why I didn't go to a HBCU. I grew up predominantly in a predominantly white area, but the black people that were there did not make me comfortable. I was not comfortable around black people, so I chose to go to PWI. That's where I was more comfortable at the time.
Yeah. Then your ass went down to Atlanta.
Right. I was gonna
Right, and then I went down to Atlanta.
Come to spell it. We would fully embrace your girl.
Yeah,
A lot of, like, don't let the chocolate skip fool you. I am suburban through and through.
But man, it's hard every day. You meet new people. They're like, "What are you?" That's the first thing out their mouth. What are you? What are you? What are you? Why do I have to identify that? I'm black. No, you're not. Okay, end the conversation.
Oh, man. Ooh,
It's been 31 years of me arguing what I am.
That's so much to unpack. I wish I could get into it.
First of all, don't hit nobody with no you not. How you gonna tell me?
Ooh, yeah.
Like, okay.
I guess if I had to give it to somebody, I'm gonna keep it simple. Just this not even just for black, white. It don't matter who you is. This is how I see it. Just me coming into any room as who I am. Forget, for lack of a better word, because my dad told me to stop cussing on air. So
Get them.
forget everybody and what they feeling like. Walk into the room like you the man or a woman, like you the man, and nobody else matters. You act like you walk into the room like you own it. And I definitely I'm always believe that confidence is key. Just let people follow you. This is just what I noticed, and this is coming from a black man that served inside the military amongst several different races. Where I was the only black man inside of the building amongst hundreds of people. And what I realized is I just got to show you who I am. I'm not trying to prove nothing to you. I'm just showing you who I am. And if you don't like it, you don't got to. Just know that I came to handle business. So I walk in that room knowing who I am, and that reminds me of other people, because I know sometimes you just feel like it's like, dang. I noticed the first thing I noticed was I'm the only black guy. And then I was like, F that stuff. I was like, forget it. I was like, I'm gonna show you who I am. I'm gonna show you that I got this. And in certain spaces, I became the only black senior leader amongst hundreds of different other. I want to say white, but I don't want to say it like that. But you know what I'm saying,
Right.
But I became the only black senior leader, and I took that with pride. And I just like, you know what? I'm gonna show you who I am. I got this on lock. And hey, pick up your rucksack and follow me, because I'm gonna get you to the promised land like Moses in Egypt. You feel me? Listen, we're gonna be back after this break. This is Global RnB 96.3. Don't forget that you can catch us. If you've missed the live broadcast, you can catch us on Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Google Podcasts. And also, you can make sure you stop by us on YouTube, Global RnB 96.3. Be back after this break.